why don't we talk a little bit about um, not necessarily about exams in particular, but just when you're looking for some resources. So you say that you surrounded yourself with big piles of resources, and you just soak in all of this vocabulary, all of this grammar. What's your go-to sources if you want to find some videos, some articles, some podcasts? Where do you go? Because on your page it's just an immense quantity of resources. I don't know where you find it all.
Yeah, thank you. I like to find for information. I'm like a spy. I actually asked a lot of people. I used to search even hashtag CPE, and I used to find people who had this experience, and I wrote private messages to them and asked for information, how they did, what was the most challenging about it, and what their advice could be. So this was one resource, and I also would write posts in some teachers' communities and ask for advice in these communities. And people are really kind to share their experience and to share information. So I'm really grateful. And as for when I work with some topics, I like to work on the vocabulary on the language topic by topic. For example, I'm interested in, I don't know, some environmental problems, and I look.
Whoa.
For example,
who is interested in environment? I'm sorry, no one is interested in environmental problems. It's so important, but no one cares. It's so boring.
No, I try to recycle really in my daily life. I try to recycle, reuse, and
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I recycle 100%. You've definitely got to recycle and look after your water and electricity consumption, but it's not fun to talk about. Don't you think?
I mean, yeah, I agree with you totally. And still, I had to learn some things in order to have a conversation on the topic. And not to just say two sentences about my recycling and just leave the room. So I had to watch some documentaries and so on. So I go on YouTube. It's very often YouTube. So I go there, and I also use Youglish. Have you heard of this site, Youglish? It's like YouTube
in English.
Huh? Yeah. So and I just search words like it can be even idioms or phrases that I meet, and or just some random words that appear in my head. And I just when I have time and I want to entertain myself, probably even, so I just write some words and I click and find a video, and then this video brings me to another one. And sometimes this is this way how I learn English, because I get tired of sitting over the course books all the time. So this is one of the another resource. So, and I also track information on Facebook in the similar communities of people who prepare for the exam or who have passed it already, and they share this information. So I was right now I'm a little bit if you go on my page, you will see that I'm not that active nowadays, because I had this moving to Moscow, and my son went to school, and I have this time of family time right now, and I'm not that active on internet. But when I was active, I think I tracked all the information appearing on internet. So great. Just inquiring mind.
Quite right. And why the move to Moscow, if you don't mind me asking?
It's because of my husband's job. He changed the location, so we packed and followed him.
Backed up and left. What does he do?
He's a manager in a company, in the building company, in a construction company.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I am going back to what you were saying about listening to podcasts and listening to shows and stuff like that, and about your personal struggles with the CPE listening test. I think you're definitely right to bring it up, because a lot of people underestimate just how important listening is. People forget that the first step towards good pronunciation, towards good fluency, towards good vocabulary is good reading and good listening. Without one, you cannot have the other. But reception comes before production, always.
Yeah.
Always. And it's also like part of like what having a good conversation is all about. That's what I try to do in my whole campfire like mentality. It's all gathering around the campfire and just talking about loads of nonsense, and I've spent a lot of time trying to understand how is the best way to have a conversation with someone, trying to perfect the art of having a conversation. And I'm still terrible at it. I interrupt people, I speak over people, I get into arguments and fights with people. I'm a moron, and I can't do it properly. But the only thing that you can do to guarantee you will have a good conversation, even with all of the fighting and butting in and interrupting, is listening. Like, you are listening to me very carefully, and I'm listening to you very carefully, and that's all you need. As long as you listen, if you just start talking with someone and you listen to them, really listen to them, and really try and understand what they're saying, people will tell you unbelievable things about themselves. People will open up and just connect with you on such a human level. And I'm so happy about it, because with all of this, people these days, they just communicate on WhatsApp and social media, which is great. But have you noticed that, like, your old friends from school or university, like, they're so close that they're far? Do you know what I mean? It's like, they're on contact. I could write to them anytime I want, and so you never write to them. And like, to be able to just like gather around the campfire and actually have a deep conversation and connect with someone on a human level, it's the best thing in the world. I love it. I love people. I love listening to people. I love hearing people's stories. I love finding out people's lives and histories and personalities. It's the best thing in the world, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree with you, and this is what we lack nowadays, really, with all these social medias and internet. We lack real communication and real conversations. Yeah, I agree with you.